Hi, boys and girls. Mrs. Hanson here. Now we are going to read our next story that goes along with our chapter for this week, and it is called Pie in the Sky by Lois Ehlert. So, Lois Ehlert wrote the word, so she's the author, and she's also the illustrator, so she drew the pictures. So, Pie in the Sky is a realistic fiction. We read a realistic fiction before. I think it was Leo the Tiger, one of those stories, remember? And it's about, so when you have realistic fiction, it means that it's fiction, so it's not real, but there's things in the story that can happen in real life. So I want you guys listening, what parts of the story are realistic or nonfiction that could happen, something that could happen in real life, and which part of the stories are fiction, meaning that it couldn't happen at all. It's not true. So while I'm reading, I want you guys to listen to those parts of the story. So what's real, what's not real. Also, I'm going to tell you guys some vocabulary words. So we have 4 vocabulary words. Our first one is buds, which are flowers that are not open yet. Next, we have damp, which means a little wet. Then we have feast, a very big meal. And then last, we have finally, after a long time. So those are the 3 words. And also, I want you guys paying attention to the yellow highlighted words because those are our sight words that we have learned so far this year. So, if you guys are ready, I can start reading. So remember, you're listening for the parts that are realistic and you're listening to the parts that are fiction or fake. Pie in the Sky. So here's our table of contents. We have our story, which is Pie in the Sky, which is a realistic fiction. Starts on page 2. And then we have From Apple Tree to Store, which remember this is always like our little social studies or science connection at the end. This tree was here when we moved in. Dad says it's a pie tree. Then down here it says, I see a blue jay. Oh, I'm going to get rid of that. I see a blue jay feather with black stripes and a white tip, and a green caterpillar with a yellow band and an orange false eye. But no pie. I've never seen pies growing on trees. Wouldn't that be something? So it says, I see green grass, real red ladybugs, red brown bark, and a blue green dragonfly, but no pie. So we must be looking for pie. Dad showed me buds on our tree today. He says that's a good sign, but we won't know till summer if we'll get pie. How are they going to get pie? So you guys see our 2 sight words, he and good. And then down here in the corner, I see yellow leaves with green spots, brown buds, a brown chrysalis. Remember, chrysalis is what the caterpillar goes in and then it turns into a butterfly. And a gray snow sky. But no pie. Winter's finally over. Sweet spring is here at last. Buds we saw last fall are bursting with bloom. Then down here it says, I see green leaves, white blossoms, yellow pollen dust, blue eggs in a brown nest, yellow honeybees, and black stripes on a yellow butterfly. But no pie. But now a damp wind is blowing, and all the flower petals are falling down like rain. There's our word all. I see white petals, dark gray tails, brown branches, and gray rain sky. But no pie. You know what? I think something's finally growing on that tree of ours. I see orange and lime green balls, yellow moon and stars, a pale green moth, and a dark blue sky. But no pie. The bird sure sounded excited. I wonder what's going on. I see a robin's nest, red breast and white speckled throat, a gray catbird with a black crown and tail, and a purple-violet clouds in a pink and orange sky. But no pie. Uh-oh, now I see. I see brown cherry pits, red-winged tips on cedar waxwings. That must be a type of bird. And white rings around Robin's black eyes. But no pie. Uh-oh, they're eating the cherries. Oh my goodness. I love cherries. They're delicious. It's a cherry feast. I see an orange-breasted orioles, black spotted and tips on butterfly wings, ripe cherries, and bright blue sky, but no pie. But hey, raccoon, save some for us. I see a raccoon's black mask, black toes, black nose and eye, and the lime green glow of fireflies. But no pie. I wonder if we're ever going to get pie. Now I'm hungry. At last, Dad says, it's time for us to pick cherries. We're going to make a pie. Look, there's our sight word make. Over here it says, I see gray wings, a black and orange tail, a yellow beak, a silver gray tail, and a blue fly. Still no pie, but we're going to make a pie. What do you guys think we need to make a pie? My cat is meowing like crazy. First, we wash the cherries. We squeeze out all the pits and save the juice. Then we put the cherries in a bowl. We add the juice, flour, sugar, and cinnamon and stir it with a spoon. Next, we mix the pie crust dough. So we are mixing all these ingredients to make a cherry pie. We roll out, so hold on. So here is Chloe. Chloe is 14 years old and she likes to meow all the time. She's a very snuggly kitty. She's been meowing like crazy, rubbing on my legs while I'm reading. Now she doesn't want to be on camera, but she wants to be heard. So let's get back to our story. I wanted to show you guys Chloe, who is not named after our Chloe, but I have a Chloe the cat, and we have Chloe the girl. Hi, Chloe. Next, we roll out 2 crusts and press 1 in the pan. Then we pour the filling in. We add the top crust, put the pie in the oven, and wait for it to bake. Now Dad cuts the pie. He puts a piece on each plate. So over here gives us a little recipe. Press around the crust edge with a fork to seal. Cut design into crust so steam can escape while baking. Bake oven at 45 degrees or preheat oven at 45 degrees. Bake 10 minutes. Reduce heat to 250. Bake 35 to 45 minutes until brown. So we have like a whole pie recipe here if we wanted to make a cherry pie. Wow, that was the best pie I've ever eaten. Wonder if the birds would like it. I bet they would. They were really eating those cherries, huh? So, oh, yep, the birds sure do. 2 birds are eating the pie right here. So, did you guys get to hear what parts of the story were real, what parts of the story were fake? Do you think that maybe that was a real pie recipe? So, there were some parts of the story that probably weren't real, like the whole story about like the different birds and stuff like that. Those birds could be in a tree, but were they really at that time? No, it was just a made up story and like the different animals we heard about and them eating the cherries. I'm sure birds can eat cherries in the tree, but those birds weren't because they weren't real. It was just a story about those birds eating the cherries. But I bet that's a real cherry pie recipe, huh? So now we have the end of our story and it says we're going to connect it to social studies. So from apple tree to store. It is fall. The trees are full of ripe apples. It is time to pick them. This apple picker climbs a ladder. She picks the apples by hand, then she puts them in her bag. This apple picker empties his bag. There is no more room in it. He puts all his apples into a large bin. So you guys see our sight words? We have she, he, and all. A tractor picks up the bins. A big truck will take them to a store. Not all the apples go to a store. Some get made into juice and cider. Others get made into applesauce. Whoa. We buy apples in a store. Sometimes we buy them at a farm stand. Then we take them home. We use some apples to make pies. We eat some of them. The apples taste good. Let's see, we have make and good. There are many different kinds of apples. Which ones have you eaten? So it looks like they have Red Delicious, Golden Delicious, Granny Smith, Jonathan, Macintosh, Gala, Rome Beauty, Stamen. Golden Delicious are my favorite. I love Golden Delicious. What kinds of apples are your favorite? I love Golden Delicious, and Red Delicious are good too. So that's the end. It's talking about how apples, different ways they get to the store and how we buy them and where they come from. So I hope you guys liked that story and you guys were able to pick out which parts were realistic and which parts were fiction. And we learned about how to make a cherry pie and what could happen to those cherries before those cherries even get picked. We don't want the birds to eat them all because we want them to share with us, right? So I hope you guys have a good day and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.